Ikawa kahiko. In the days of old, there lived on the island of Hawaii the demigod named Maui. Maui was known all throughout the Pacific as an adventurous spirit, sometimes a little mischievous as well. On this particular day, Maui was living along the Wailuku River with his mother, noticed the winds playing with the branches of the trees, the winds moving the leaves, picking up the great sails of the voyaging canoes and blowing them back and forth. Maui thought, I should like to play with those winds myself. How can I harness those winds and have an adventure of my own? Maui looked at the shape of the great sails of those canoes that had brought people thousands of miles across the ocean and decided to make a kind of sail of his own. What will I use to make my sail? Thought Maui. And he remembered that his mother, the goddess Hina, was a famous kapa maker. Now kapa is the Hawaiian bark cloth, and it is made from the strong bark of the wauke, or the mulberry plant. And when it has been processed and beaten, it becomes a beautiful, soft, but also very strong cloth used for clothing and bedding. And Maui thought, what a wonderful sail I could make out of this kapa. But it would not be a sail. It would be something entirely new. It would be a kite to fly in the heavens and give Maui many, many hours of enjoyment. So Maui goes to his mother Hina and gets her finest, most beautiful and strongest piece of kapa and begins to create his new toy, his kite, a pea or a lupe, to fly in the heavens. But Maui knows that just a piece of kapa isn't going to be enough. He needs to create some sort of cordage to tie the kapa so that he can send it into the sky without losing it. So Maui looks around to see what kind of materials are growing in his environment. What can he use to make such a cord? Looking around, observing different plants, he looks to the coconut tree, not quite strong enough. He looks to the la'i, the tea leaf, not quite strong enough. What about the hau, a relative of the hibiscus? Not quite strong enough. Maui needs a strong, fine, and light cordage if he is to make the perfect lupe or kite. And he finally settles on the olona. Olona is a native Hawaiian plant. It grows along the ground in the forest, and from its fiber, the strongest and best cordage can be made. So now Maui has his kapa, his bark cloth, he has the olona cordage, his strong rope, and he begins to construct his lupe, giving it a frame of the lightest and most flexible of materials, the ohe, or the bamboo. And so finally, Maui has created this glorious new invention of his, a new toy, the lupe, of bark cloth, framed with bamboo, and with a long cord to send it up into the air. Now, Maui is ready. Goes outside along the banks of Wailuku River, feeling a light breeze, he sends it up into the heavens. But the gentle breeze just bounces the lupe around, and Maui is disappointed. The This is not what he had expected. He wants something dramatic, something exciting. The winds just aren't strong enough. And then Maui remembers that there is a famous kahuna, or a priest, living along the coast of Hawaii Island, Hamakua Coast. There is a valley named Waipio. Deep in that valley is the kahuna named Kaleioku. And Kaleioku has a special possession. Kaleioku, the kahuna, holds in his power a special, magical ipu. An ipu is a gourd that has been changed into some sort of vessel, a calabash, a container. And this is no ordinary container. This ipu is called ipu makania mau, which means the gourd of the perpetual winds. And this kahuna, or priest, controls these winds by releasing them, by lifting the lid, and then capturing them back again. So Maui says, well, I should ask this kahuna, Kaleioku, to release the greatest of winds so that I can fly my kite. So he calls out, all along the coastlines, calls out to Kaleioku, send me the great winds of Hilo, send them to me that I may fly my kite. The kahuna hears Maui's call and agrees to do this. Taking his ipu, or calabash, he gently lifts the lid of the ipu, sending forth the great winds of Hilo. Oh, Maui is so excited. He can see the winds coming his way, picks up his kite, and it is gently flying in the heavens, a bit higher now than before. Maui is still not satisfied. Calls again to the great priest, send forth the winds of Hilo, send the great winds to me. Kaleioku again gently lifts the lid, releasing even more winds. Maui sees them coming his way, still holding on to his kite, and the kite gets higher and higher. But still he wants more. Calls again, send forth the great winds of Hilo to me. And once more, the kahuna will raise the lid, releasing the greatest winds of Hilo, which now come surging towards Maui. Maui, still along the banks of Wailuku River, is holding on to his great kite, holding on for dear life. They picked up the lupe, and now it's soaring high in the sky. And the winds grow stronger and stronger. And Maui is holding on to that cord, holding on to his dear possession, as the winds pick up the kite and pull it along the banks of Wailuku River. Maui holds on tight, dragging his heels into the banks of the river, carving out the deep river banks, watching his kite bend and twist in the wind as it's tossed about. And finally, Maui, when he thinks he can no longer hang on to the kite, it snaps and begins to float. Having broken free of its cord, it floats all the way over the mountain tops, all the way over to the district of Ka'u, where it finally comes to rest. Maui is furious. Maui races across the island, and because he is a god, he is able to bound in a dozen steps over the highest of mountains, where he finds his lupe on the ground. Maui, feeling defeated, picks up his new favorite toy and slowly makes his way back to his home in Hilo. He repairs the kite and prepares to send it back up into the sky once more. But this time, with a more gentle wind. Rather than calling out to the kahuna, he simply lets the winds of Hilo move the kite. And as he notices, when the breeze is gentle, the kite will bounce along and dance in the wind. But on a clear day, it soars straight up into the heavens and stays there for many, many hours. When a storm is brewing, the kite will be tossed here and there in every direction. As Maui observes the movements of his kite, he begins to realize it could be a wonderful way to forecast and tell the weather. And the people begin to see this as well. They will often look for Maui's kite in the sky to see what kind of weather the day will hold. Will it be a clear sunny day? A day where I can work in the farm, build rock walls, beat my kappa out in the sunshine and then lay it out to dry? Or should I be fearful of rain and wind and stay inside today? The people are grateful to Maui and his wonderful invention. And to this day, on the island of Hawaii, along the banks of the Wailuku River, you can still see the spot where Maui dragged his heels into the riverbanks, carving out those rocks. You can see the rock to which Maui anchored his kite, sending it into the heavens. And you can also see that the people will look to the skies, look for Maui's kite, in the hopes that it will forecast to them fine weather, weather in which they can do all of their daily work. And so to this day, we say to Maui, mahalo Maui, thank you, for now we have the gift of the lupe, the kite, and the gift of all of the elements, kamakani, the winds. Mahalo Maui, pipi holo ka'au. And so, the tale has been